Pavlo Kyrylenko, the head of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration, reported that on the night of August the 26th, the Russian military shelled hromadas in Bakhmutsky and Kramatorsk districts the most. Siversk was hit at night. 4 houses were damaged. One of them suffered a direct hit. We are specifying the information about victims, he wrote. He noted that in Kramatorsk district, the Russians struck 2 educational facilities in Slovyansk and Mykolaiivka. The building of Slovyansk Chemical and Mechanical College was damaged. According to Vadim Lyakh, the head of the Slovyansk City Military Administration, no one was killed or wounded. The Russian army destroyed a school in Mykolaiivka. In addition, 5 residential houses were damaged there. In Konstantinivska Hromada, the shelling caused a fire beyond a village. 30 hectares of stubbles and 1.3 hectares of wood were burned down. Pavlo Kyrylenko, the head of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration, posted on his Telegram channel that on August the 25th, Russian shellings killed 2 residents of Donetsk region in Siversk and Zelenopilya. 6 other people were injured. It is now impossible to determine the accurate number of casualties in Mariupol and Volnovakha, he wrote. He added that since the all-out invasion began, 764 people have been killed and 1,959 wounded in the course of hostilities in Donetsk region. On August the 26th, at night, the Russian forces shelled Derhachi. A woman aged 50 was killed and a man aged 59 was wounded, said Oleg Sinehubov, the head of the Kharkiv Regional Military Administration. At around 2:30 a.m., the enemy struck Derhachi and ruined an educational facility, he reported. According to the regional prosecutor's office, the Russians allegedly struck the town with S-300 missiles launched from Belgorod region in the Russian Federation. Vyacheslav Zadorenko, the head of Derhachivska Hromada, said that an industrial enterprise and a medical facility were also damaged. According to Serhiy Bolvinov, chief of the Police Investigation Department, a bee farming company was damaged by the shelling in Derhachi. Mr. Sinehubov said that the Russian army also bombarded Chuhuivsky and Bohodukhivsky districts, Kharkiv region. On August the 25th, 1 person was killed in Chuhuivsky district and 2 persons were injured. On the night of August the 26th, the Russian forces launched missiles and shells from Grad and heavy artillery on 3 districts in Dnipropetrovsk region, namely Nikopolsky, Sinelnikivsky and Krivorisky, reported Valentin Reznichenko, the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration. In Nikopol, they damaged about a dozen cottages, a school and a recreation facility. A power line was broken and thousands of Nikopol residents have no electricity supply. The repair work is underway, he wrote. Marhanetska and Chervonohrigorivska Hromadas also came under fire. In 2 Hromadas of Sinelnikivsky district, the missile attack caused destruction in agricultural and road enterprises. A hangar with machines caught fire and it has been extinguished. In Krivorisky district, Zelenodolska and Shirokivska Hromadas were targeted, causing some destruction. No one was killed or wounded. In addition, late on August the 25th, the Russian army struck Velika Kostromka in Krivorisky district. A residential house and utility buildings were slightly damaged. The Russian troops also shelled Nikopolsky district. No destruction or victims, said Mykola Lukashuk, the head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Council. A fire broke out in a settlement in Veliko-Pisarivska Hromada, resulting from the shelling by the Russian military. A house, a utility building and dry grass on an open area caught fire, as reported by the main directorate of the State Emergency Service in Sumy region. Over August the 25th, the Russians launched more than 100 different munitions on Sumy region from their territory, said Dmytro Zhevitsky, the head of the Sumy Regional Military Administration. According to the North Operational Command, Shalinska territorial Hromada was shelled at 10:20 a.m., probably from rocket launchers with white phosphorus munitions. 20 blasts were documented. The woods in the natural preserve was on fire and remains of the shells were discovered at the scene. At 14:30, 8 blasts were documented, apparently from a 120mm mortar, and 2 shots with illumination munitions in the area of Seredina Buda Hromada. After 5 p.m., the shellings were repeated, 2 shots from the 120mm mortar. The main directorate of the State Emergency Service in Sumy region reported that on August the 25th, the rescuers extinguished the fire that occurred after the Russian shelling in Veliko-Pisarivska community. A wooded area was on fire. On August the 25th, in the aftermath of a heavy artillery fire on Orikhiv and its outskirts, a 17-year-old guy was wounded. He died on the way to hospital. A woman, 66, from Preobrazhenka village, was also severely wounded, said Alexander Staruch, the head of the Zaporizhia Regional Military Administration. As the National Police Main Department in Zaporizhia region reported, on August the 25th, on the eve of August the 24th, the Russian troops also shelled Orikhiv for a few hours. The pummel smashed 11 streets and destroyed over 20 detached houses, apartments, garages and utility buildings. Missile strikes were also dealt on Komyshuvacha, Rozumivka and Stepne. In Gholaypole, the Russians shelled houses of peaceful residents. A direct hit ruined 3 floors in a state-owned administrative building. The law enforcement bodies launched criminal proceedings for each fact of the Russian armed aggression. As of 9 a.m. on August the 26th, all 6 power units of Zaporizhia NPP are disconnected from the power grid. The station's own power supply needs are provided through a repaired line from the Ukrainian power system. Work is underway to prepare the connection of 2 power units of the ZNPP to the grid, the Energoatom company reported. Today, for the first time in history, the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant stopped. The emergency protection of the power units worked. After the last working line of the plant's power returned to the Ukrainian power system was damaged by Russian shelling. Diesel generators were immediately activated to provide energy to the station itself, to support it after the shutdown. The world must understand what a threat this is. If the diesel generators hadn't turned on, if the automation and our staff of the plant had not reacted after the blackout, then we would already be forced to overcome the consequences of the radiation accident. Russia has put Ukraine and all Europeans one step away from a radiation disaster. We need such international pressure that will force the occupiers to immediately withdraw from the territory of the Zaporizhia NPP. Vadim Monastyrsky will go on a cycling tour of Ukraine starting at Svobody Square. First of all, you need to drink a lot of water. Water is life, and if you go without water, you can quickly exhaust your body. Also, I must have the Ukrainian flag with me. There is no way without it. Until February the 24th, the man worked as a photographer, and now he volunteers, and this trip is for charity. This is how he will collect money for a medical car for the military, he says. He learned about the need from the soldiers. They showed us videos of how they take out the wounded and the dead. Sorry, in station wagons with the seats removed. They take them out in pickup trucks that are not equipped at all to transport people inside, in trucks. Volunteers decided to buy a specialized car. They found it in Great Britain, says the head of the charitable foundation, Oleksiy Holodenko. The idea of this project is to save the lives of both soldiers and military medics who are on the front lines every day. This machine, as the manufacturer claims, and we will check it, is armored and it must withstand all the hardships that the guys on the front line get into. The implementation of this entire project will cost about $85,000. We are given 15, we are $70,000 short. To collect this money, Vadim plans to travel 1,300 kilometers, stopping in 14 cities of Ukraine. This route was chosen in order to go as far as possible around all the volunteer headquarters that we know about. For me, this is the first such solo trip with such a long distance. I can't run normally, I like cycling. The volunteer takes a flag with him, on which he will collect the signatures of colleagues in other cities. He plans to travel this route in 10 days.